Do you contribute to a Roth 401k or traditional 401k, or both? Why? The choice between a Roth 401k and a traditional 401k seems to lack a clear consensus. Decisions are influenced by individual current tax bracket, future tax bracket expectations, and general future income tax rate expectations. But even so, it seems like two people in the same financial position with the same future earnings expectations will choose differently. Which type of plan do you contribute to, and why? 100 Traditional. My employer did not offer a Roth option 20 years ago, winking face. I use my IRA for Roth and 401k for pre-tax. It's good to have a balance of both when it comes time to withdraw. Things get confusing when you leave a job with a 401k that has both Roth and pre-tax money in it as well. The pre-tax money has to go in your traditional IRA, and the Roth 401k money has to go into the Roth IRA. Just more points of failure when you go to roll it in. Your match money will always be traditional, so it makes sense to continue on with that and have one pot of traditional money in your 401k. Trad 401k for the massive tax break, and Roth IRA to help fund early retirement before 60. Because of Roth 401k and my income, I don't qualify for Roth IRA contributions. So, I max out my 401k, splitting my contributions, and save more with brokerage or kids' Roth IRAs. With both traditional and Roth, I'll be able to shift withdrawals around to manage taxability of income later. 401k for pre-tax only, and a Roth IRA. No reason for me to lock up more after-tax money or pay 401k fees on it. I expect lower taxes in retirement. If I can still save more after maxing out those two, then I might as well put any extra after-tax savings in a regular brokerage account and have the flexibility to use it for pre-retirement goals if needed. Currently to both but switching to 100 Traditional at year-end. I came to a conclusion that Roth makes no sense being in the 24 marginal bracket state tax. I like Roth. The tax is over and done with. However, Trad 401k has pre-tax, so more money, meaning the gains are higher. Bi-weekly employee. $300 per pay period pre-tax, 457 contribution, $7,800 annually. $200 per pay period Roth, 457 contribution, $5,200 annually. $6,500 lump sum Roth IRA yearly contribution. Salary $110,000. Government pension of 63 of final average salary at 55. Mainly contribute to Roth accounts because of the uncertainty of future tax rates, as well as the pension income will fill my lower tax brackets. Also, Roth don't have minimum withdrawal limits like other accounts. I still mix it up to give myself flexibility in the future. I'd love it if anyone could point me in the direction of a calculator with adjustable settings that might be able to calculate if a traditional 401k or a Roth would yield more money in retirement based on different tax settings. Traditional. Nothing about tax policy of the last 40 years leads me to believe tax rates will be significantly higher 20 years from now. Also, I will not need to draw an amount that would have me paying the rate I do today. I do all Roth now. The reason is my whole life I did nothing but pre-tax, and now I'm screwed and faced with big Roth conversions. I'm playing catch up. I want a mix of pre and Roth so I can design my taxes during my retirement. If I had to do it all over again, I would have gone heavy Roth in the beginning when my wages were low and then switched to heavy pre later when my wages were much higher. But over the span I would have focused on a mix. Always a mix. You can't predict the future, so best to stay flexible. Both, nobody knows the future and we have no idea how taxes will change. I contributed for some years to Roth 401k, then switched to traditional. The logic for me was to have a money pile in retirement that doesn't have tax implications, so I can use it to absorb infrequent or unexpected costs. Like if I want to pay for a new car in cash, having it not affect my tax bracket is really nice. There are also costs that are based on last year's income, like Medicare Part B. Once that post-tax pile is large enough, I think my current taxes are higher than retirement taxes will be, so traditional makes more sense. Both weighed towards Roth. I work for the railroad. We have our own retirement system which provides more income in retirement than Social Security. When I retire, my income won't shrink substantially. I'll benefit more from the Roth. Roth, tax-free growth. It has to do with income. What would your income be taxed like now, and what would it be taxed like when you are cashing out? You could say that people choose differently at the same income level. But, just because somebody chooses differently doesn't mean they're choosing correctly. Weird, so many people here recommends Roth 401k, I just don't see many situation where you'd be making more money at retirement age than you would be making now. And if you make very little now, you don't want to put anything into 401k. Withdraw it all to upscale yourself for better earnings. Listen to me carefully. You invest in both a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA for retirement income. Taxes do nothing but increase. The Roth IRA is the greatest thing Congress ever did for the American people. Put as much money as you can now while you're young into a Roth IRA and allowed to grow tax rate so you can draw on tax-free in retirement. I have both and do my bare minimum for a full match. I don't really believe in either. I guess I am just pessimistic and think that by the time I am withdrawing, it will be less valuable to me than it will in other investment vessels that are more liquid. Free money, sure, but it's a very small egg in my long-term plans. Roth only. I can shelter the most earnings when maxing out, and there are a host of benefits that make the choice a no-brainer. Genuine question. Why would someone invest into a 401k when they could take that money, put it somewhere else and get a better return? Seems strange to wait until you're old to be rich. 1. I max out my traditional 401k and my wife's. We have W-2 jobs and need the tax savings too. I contribute 20 of my self-employment income to a traditional solo 401k company contribution 3. My wife and I do backdoor Roths 4. I max out a 457b I have at work 5. I hire my kids to work for my self-employed firm and put their paycheck directly into Roths 6. I max out the HSA. That's, in principle. I'm unfortunately looking to buy a house soon, so I'm trying to decide what to contribute and what to save up this year. I have not put anything in the 457b so far and the Roths are questionable. Roth. My match is in trad, so I'd rather have a mix so I can play the tax game later in life. Deferring ordinary income now versus avoiding long-term cap gains in the future. I do pre-tax. Roth. Employer match goes to traditional. Roth 401k. I'm a high earner, have to backdoor Roth IRA and I'm only 34. I expect to let my retirement grow for 25-30 years and also expect to have higher tax brackets during retirement years. I max out both. Take whatever tax breaks on investments you can. Max out my traditional and max my Roth IRA. Maybe someone can explain, but if you have hundreds of thousands in a traditional, would it be better to continue doing this rather than switching to a Roth 401k? I contribute just my company's match to my 401k and then also max out my Roth. I would have contributed to a Roth 401k if I didn't also buy stock on my brokerage with the taxes deferred using a traditional 401k. Otherwise, a Roth 401k will eventually do better than a traditional, especially if trying to fire. Traditional 401k HSA Roth IRA. The Roth IRA doubles sort of as an emergency fund. Since I have practically no healthcare expenses, it's essentially a second 401k for me.